Hi guys, it's Dakota. Welcome to the Hallowed Cauldron. A couple of videos ago, I did one on a few of my favorite stones, and someone left a comment and they asked if I would do one on my least favorite stones. So I thought that would be a fun thing to do and to tell you why maybe about the stones. So what I did was I have chosen just a few of our top sellers at my store because I found it very interesting that these are some of the favorite stones and yet they're my least favorite stones, and I to the point where I don't even work with them. And so that's what we're going to cover today. Try to do it as quickly as I can. So the first stone I want to talk about is Howlite. This is Howlite. And you can see it's white and it has some spidery kind of web-like look to it, or veins to it. And this is just a worry stone. On the other side, there's a little crow or a raven, like a little totem stone, totem spirit stone, or totem animal stone, whatever. You put it on your altar or carry it in your pocket. But I just grabbed this one from the store because I don't personally own any Howlite. Out of the majority of stones that we have at the store, and we have probably over 500 stones. We have so many stones at the store, different types of stones and specimens and everything. And this is the stone that I like the least that I could think of. So first, let me tell you the good things about Howlite is it's a really good stone that helps calm energy. It helps if you have rage. It helps if there's a lot of arguments going on. It helps for grieving. If you've lost someone, it's a good support stone in that respect. We are a military town and we have a lot of military personnel that come in, and it's been a really excellent stone to help with PTSD issues. It's just a very calming stone. One of the main properties that it does is it helps if you have insomnia. So it's a really good stone for all of those things. Now, as I said, this is probably one of my least favorite stones. I don't even really like to hold this stone. The stone feels, it just has a really negative energy for me. I'm making all these faces. It has just not even negative. It just doesn't feel right to me. I just don't like it. It feels very sluggish and very, I don't know. I don't even know the word. But it doesn't make me feel good. It's not, the energy of this stone isn't a good feeling energy for me. Now, I have personally tried to use this stone. I have a very active mind and I do not sleep well. I wouldn't say that I have insomnia, but I have interrupted sleep. So I wake up every couple of hours and my mind is just going, going, going. I have a very hard time falling asleep, and then I can't stay asleep. So I tried working with the stone because it's a very, very popular stone for insomnia. And truly, it just did the opposite for me. It just, not that it kept me awake, but I really didn't feel good. It just did not make me feel good. So I don't have this stone anymore. However, like I said, it is one of our popular stones. Now, the other thing that I use this stone for, I thought, okay, so maybe it's not a sleep stone for me, but it's good for anger and for rage and stuff. I tend to have a little bit of road rage at times. I've really, really worked on it over the years, and I'm 100% better than I used to be. But I thought, well, let's put Howlite in my car. And that way, when I'm driving, it will help keep me centered and I won't be so quick to anger and scream and yell and all the crazy things that people do that have road rage. And it didn't help me. It didn't help me. In fact, I wanted to take the stone and throw it out the side of the window. I just don't like the energy of the stone. This is just me personally. I know people firsthand experience that this stone has incredible properties for them. It works so well for them. For insomnia and for anger. It's a great stone to take to court with you if you have a court date, or if you have a lot of just chaos and anger, bickering and stuff like that in the house. It's a really, really good stone to help with that. And again, I know firsthand people that have used it for that, and it really has helped smooth things out and less quick to anger kind of thing. I'm looking at my notes. Yes, I just want to make sure that I've covered everything. But yeah, so for me, I don't like it. It doesn't help me. In fact, it just makes me not want to touch it. It makes me not. So I don't have it. I don't have it in my house. I brought this one from the store. It just is, I don't know. It's just a weird energy for me. Our energies do not work well together. So that is a howlite. Now, let me tell you about howlite really quick. The howlite is a stone that they use often to dye. They dye it all different colors. So please, when you're out shopping for howlite or for different stones, that you make sure it is not howlite, because one of the stones that is most common as a fake is a turquoise, because turquoise has this similar marking to it. And if you take a piece of raw howlite, now this one has been, cut into this shape and it's been tumbled, it's smooth. But a piece of raw howlite, they dye it a turquoise color, and then you can see the little lines in it, and it looks like a piece of real turquoise, but it's not. It's howlite. Also, they sell it as coral. I've seen coral jewelry. It is not coral. It is howlite. The other thing that they use it for is lapis lazuli. I've seen jewelry being sold as lapis, which lapis lazuli it's not an inexpensive stone, and it's howlite. So be careful when you buy a stone. Make sure that it is not dyed howlite. Dyed howlite will fade on your skin. The color will, if you have a bracelet, I knew it was howlite, but I wanted to wear it for Samhain, and it was skulls. And it was in color. I think mine was red. I think it was like a red coral. Well, I mean, I knew it wasn't coral, but it was red, and it turned my skin red. The color just wears off on your skin, which means that it can wear off on your clothing as well. So if you have a pendant and it's rubbing on the neck of your shirt or your blouse or something, the color will rub off on it. It will stain your clothes. So be careful, because howlite is a very soft stone that takes to dye very easily, and it's such an inexpensive stone, and it is a stone that they use for jewelry. So be very, very careful when you are purchasing stones that make claims to being a turquoise or coral or lapis. There's some other stones out there as well. Just be careful. So that is howlite, one of my very, very least favorite stones. All right, my next least favorite stones, and now these stones I actually like. I don't mind holding them, and I think they're beautiful. That is a blue lapis, or I'm sorry, a blue kyanite. I'm sorry, I've just gotten talking about lapis. This is blue kyanite, has some calcite in it. This is a chunk, absolutely beautiful stone. And this is black kyanite, and it looks like, I think it looks like I tell everybody they look like crow feathers. You'll always think of the peddler and the crow. Black kyanite and blue kyanite I love both of the stones as far as their appearance goes. Kyanite, black and blue, both vibrate. Now they call it high vibration, 3 to 6. That is not high to me. High vibration to me would be 6 to 9, 10 on up. But their vibration is 4 to 6, and for me that is not a high vibration. But they are self-cleansing, and they are also a self-charging stone. What that means is you can put them in your bowl of stones if you have bowls around with stones, or you can lay it next to a stone, or you can put a crystal or one of your other stones on top of them. Or if you carry a little pouch full of stones, you can have little pieces of kyanite, black or blue, in your little pouch, and it will keep all of your stones cleansed and charged as well. And now both stones are really good for divination, for clairvoyancy, intuition, those types of things. A lot of readers and a lot of healers like to use kyanite, and so they're really good for those types of things. I can hold them all day long. I can wear them and they do absolutely nothing for me. I feel nothing at all from kyanite. So I don't use it in any of my work for anything. The black kyanite is also good for grounding. I don't use it for grounding. It doesn't really work for me. Now, if this was a piece of black tourmaline, I'd be jumping all over it. I love black tourmaline. It's my favorite stone for grounding. But this is kyanite. You can kind of see it's like little layers. It's really pretty. Beautiful stones. Beautiful stones. They have a lot of properties in them, a lot of things that you can use them for. And the blue is absolutely stunning. Beautiful stones. They do nothing for me personally, so I don't use them, and I don't own either one of those stones. All right, the other stone that we'll talk about is selenite. So this is selenite. This is white selenite. This is a little selenite wand. And selenite is really good for healing. It's good for, it brings mental clarity. I call it an angelic stone. It's just really soothing and healing. It supposedly has high energy as well. Here's a sphere. See how pretty? Look how pretty. And this has, I think that's supposed to be a lotus flower or something, or flower of life. I'm not real sure, but would be really nice to put in maybe your meditation area or a yoga room or in a bedroom. Just really good healing type energies in them. So they're really very nice stones. And like I said, these are self-cleansing and self-charging as well. Now we sell the plates. They look like this, but they're rectangular, and we also have some new ones. They're hexagon plates. They're probably about that big. They're really nice. They're very beautiful. And they're to place your stones on for healing, for cleansing. And you just place your stones on them like that, and it cleanses the stones and it charges the stones. And you can also use the hexagon plate for gridding if you do any type of gridding. So they're really good for that. One of the things with selenite, please remember this. You cannot put selenite in water. It will dissolve. It absolutely will dissolve. So do not cleanse selenite in water. A lot of people like to use salt, and they ask me all the time about salt, whether just placing it in a bowl of salt, not just selenite, but all of your stones. I don't use salt for any of my stones. I don't like it. I don't Not that I don't like salt, I do, but I don't use it for cleansing. It's salt after a while, it eats away. If you have a stone that is, well, let me use this. If you have a stone that is shiny, see the little shiny here? It tends to eat away at the shine of the stone. It'll pit it, put pits in it eventually, and salt water is not good for them. So I really don't like that unless you just do a spritz or you just kind of dip it in your water real quick and dry it off. That might be okay, but not selenite. There are a lot of stones that you cannot put in water. They will dissolve. So make sure that you do your research before. So the selenite does nothing for me. I don't know if it's because it has this very subtle, gentle energy, at least for me. I can feel the energy and it's just very light. For me, it's very light. It's very subtle. And I don't know if, and so it's not that I don't like it. It's just that I don't work with it because I don't feel that the energy, and I don't mean this to sound any weird thing, but I kind of feel like it's almost as if my energy overpowers the energy of the selenite. I know that sounds weird, and I certainly don't mean that that's what it does. I'm just saying that I almost feel like the selenite can't, it just doesn't mesh with my energy in that respect. So I don't own any selenite, and I don't use selenite. I don't use it to even charge any of my stones. So that selenite is just a little too soft for me. All right, here we go. All right, get ready. Rose quartz. Yes, that's right. Rose quartz, the love stone, the love stone. And I want to show you this beautiful. This is a rose quartz. It's called a flame. It looks like a flame. So the rose quartz, this is your love stone. Self-love, romantic love, universal love. It's just love. It's a love stone and can be used for all of those things. Compassion, good for sympathy, empathy, all of those things. Rose quartz does not, I don't resonate with it. Now, I could say it's the color. I'm not a pink person. I'm not pink. I'm not drawn to the color pink, first of all. However, in stones, I have a lot of stones that I'm not drawn to their color, but I'm drawn to their energy. So remember that. It's not about the prettiness of the stone. It's about the energy of the stone. So I do work with some stones that aren't exactly pretty, but I like their energy, so I use that. But pink, the pink rose quartz, I don't get anything from the energy either. I don't feel any, when I hold rose quartz or have rose quartz around me, and believe me, I've tried to work with rose quartz. I've had rose quartz jewelry. I've carried rose quartz, and it doesn't change anything of my energy as far as love goes, or making me feel more compassionate or more drawn to someone, or any of those things. So therefore, it's just a stone that I don't work with. I don't have a need for it. However, what I will tell you is that rose quartz for me is also a devotional stone, a stone that you would give as an offering when you are doing a type of devotion to deity, perhaps. Now, I can't tell you one way or the other if the deity that I work with likes rose quartz or not. I think that they do, and they don't get rose quartz every single time I work devotion, because that would be every day. But there are times when I do specific devotions and specific work with deity that whether it is the stone talking to me or whether it is deity talking to me, that I feel it is proper and I want to, out of love, give the rose quartz to deity. And as an offering, when all is said and done, when everything is done, when the ritual is over and it's all done, my rose quartz either gets buried or it gets tossed in the creek or a different water source. So I don't hang on to the rose quartz. I don't have any rose quartz in my house. I have one, let me take that back. I have one rose quartz. I've had it for probably 10, 15 years. It's a little tumbled stone and I bought it 10 or 15 years ago. It's in one of my bowls of stones, but I don't use it. I don't use it. And like I said, well, that was probably one of the stones that I used to carry with me and try to use, but it doesn't work for me. And when I do a chakra cleansing for someone, for myself, I tend to use, because pink and green are the two heart chakra colors, I tend to use green on myself. I don't use the rose quartz because I'm just not drawn to it. But I will use that on my clients because I feel that either the stone or spirit is guiding me to use a rose quartz on my clients. So that's how I work with the rose quartz. All right, I just don't feel anything from it. I think it's pretty, but it's not pretty where I want it displayed in my home. Okay, so then the last stone I'm going to talk about, and it's kind of funny, and that is the amethyst. All right, this is an amethyst palm stone. It's just a palm stone. You hold it for meditation. You can set it on your altar, whatever you want to do with it. It's purple. The lighting in here is not very good, but it is purple. And this right here, you can see right there, that's an amethyst. That's my amethyst church. It's called a church. And I've had that for probably 15 years, maybe 20 years. And it has always sat up on top of a wardrobe in my bedroom, just sort of back. It's just not a favorite. It does nothing for me. It's a beautiful stone. I love amethyst. I think it's beautiful. We just got some gorgeous amethyst big clusters in. They're beautiful at the store. I absolutely love them, but I'm not drawn to them, if that makes sense. So amethyst is really good for spirit communication, for anxiety, for stress, intuition. It's a great stone to have on your altar or your table if you are a person that is trying to or that reads tarot, oracle, does pendulum divination, any type of thing like that. It's an excellent stone for that. But for me, it's just not a stone that I use. I'm sure I have a stone in my collection in my bowl, but it's not a stone that I use for anything personally. I'm just not drawn to use it. Also, the amethyst is good when you're working chakras. It's for your third eye. I personally don't use it on my third eye because I'm not drawn to use that stone. But when we're doing Reiki, or if I am doing chakra alignment balancing on a client, I tend to use the amethyst on their third eye or on their crown chakra. Sometimes I interchange. That depends on what I'm drawn to. So that's the thing about amethyst. Yes, so I'm not really a big amethyst person. There's a funny story, or it's not really funny, but about the god, and forgive me if I don't pronounce the words right. I call him Bacchus. Some people call him Bacchus. He's a wine god, the god of wine, and some other word. But anyway, he got upset. he got offended, and somebody offended him. And when he got offended, he swore that the next person he met, he was going to set his tigers loose, and the tigers were going to devour that person, that was going to be his revenge. Even though that person wouldn't be the person that offended him, it didn't matter. That's just how he was going to take care of this issue of being angry that someone had offended him or something to that respect. And so one day, a maiden named Amethyst was on her way to the shrine of Diana to do some devotions or to worship Diana or whatever it was. And she was the first person that Bacchus met. And so he got ready to unleash the tigers because the tigers were going to devour Amethyst. Well, Diana knew that Amethyst was coming to worship her, and so sorry. so Diana turned Amethyst into this clear quartz. And when Bacchus found out that it was this beautiful maiden that was going to worship Diana, he felt really bad. And so he took some juice from his grapes, because like I said, he's a wine god. And he took some purple juice from his grapes, and he poured it over the white crystal, and it stained it purple. And so that's a story, myth, whatever you want to call it, about Amethyst. And I thought that was a really fun story to share. So there you have it. Those are my least favorite stones. Those are stones that I just do not work with. And for those reasons, no other reason than they don't resonate with me on any level at all. The only stone really that I could say that I feel anything from would be the selenite, but for whatever reason, the energy just doesn't feel strong enough for, I don't know, it's a weird feeling. It's a weird feeling. So anyway, those are my stones, my least favorite stones, and my little reasons why. So if you have any similar stories or you want to share, please do so in the comments. If you leave a comment, like even hello, that way I know you're here, that you're watching the videos, and that's always fun to me. So don't be shy. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.